Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to take this equation solving thing to a step up, and we need to take an equation and solve for the missing piece of the x variable. So it says 2x plus 3 equals 15. I need to obviously solve for x. Now, first again, like yesterday, I have an x. I want to box the x and its coefficient, the 2, because it's 2x. Okay? Now these have more than one step here. First we got to get rid of this plus 3 right here, and obviously we're going to subtract 3. And you don't need to write this if you don't want. I'm just showing you the game plan. And then since the 2's in front of the x, we are going to divide by 2. Now, first I subtract the 3. So minus 3 minus 3. Okay. So over here you got 2x still, and then you got 12. Then we're gonna divide both sides by the 2. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1, so that'll be just x, and then 12 divided by 2 is 6, so x equals 6, which makes sense because 2 times 6 is 12, and then plus 3 would be 15. Okay, the next one, negative 3 plus 5x equals 12. So I'm solving for the x variable right here. So I box up the 5x, and so I have this negative 3. By the way, I'm not even going to look at what's on that side, okay, because it doesn't matter. I have the negative 3 outside, so I'm going to add 3, and then I have the 5 as my coefficient, so then I'm going to divide by 5. So I plus 3, plus 3. Now I reset the equation. I've got 5x, 12 and 3 makes 15. And now I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 5, and we have a 3 over there, and then we just have x over here. So 3 is my answer there. Okay, x over 6. Now what I do again is I put the 1 in front of the x, and the x, I box the whole fraction up. Okay, it's 1/6x, and then minus 3 equals 8. Again, I don't really care about the 8, that's on the other side of the equation. So I got minus 3, so I'm going to add 3 to both sides, and then I have the 6 now on the bottom, so I'm not going to divide by 6. Instead I'm going to multiply by 6. Okay, so I plus 3, I plus 3, then reset the equation. That's 11, and over here we got 1x over 6. Okay, now we're going to multiply each side by 6, so I times 6 and times 6. 11 times 6 is 66. And then the times 6 divided by 6 cancels, and that gives me just x, 1x. X and 1x mean the same thing. When you have 1x, you have your answer. Okay, so x equals 66. Okay, I'm finding what f equals, a letter change, that doesn't matter. Negative 12 equals 8 plus 1f over 2. So 1f over 1/2 f is our coefficient. So first I need to, the 8's positive, so I'm going to subtract 8. And then that 2 on the bottom, I'm going to multiply by 2. So it's minus 8, and I minus 8. Okay, so negative 12 minus 8 is negative 20. And over here I still got the 1f over 2. Now I multiply both sides by 2, so times 2 times 2. Okay, so over here that's negative 40, and then I've got f. Okay, next one, 16 minus 3x equals 34. Now this minus 3x, I want to make that plus negative because the coefficient's negative 3. Okay, so I have the 16, it's positive, so I subtract 16. And then I'm going to divide, because now the coefficient's back to being just negative 3. I'm going to divide by negative 3. So I subtract 16, and then negative 3x, and then 18. 34 minus 16 is 18, and then I'm going to divide both sides by the negative 3. So that's negative 6, and then we're going to have x. Okay. Okay, 1/3 x minus 6 equals negative 15. Okay, so my coefficient's 1/3 x So I got this minus 6, so I'm going to add 6 to both sides. Okay, and then I've got this 3 right here on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to multiply by 3. Again, having the 1 as your coefficient, I'm not concerned about that. So I plus 6, plus 6. Negative 15 plus 6 is negative 9. You can use a calculator. Then we got 1/3 x still. And then I multiply by 3. Okay, so negative 9 times 3 is negative 27, and 1x is the answer, so I got x. I'm actually going to skip these two and come back to them, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, 22 equals negative 8 plus 7x. Okay, so x equals, here's my x, its coefficient 7, positive 7. So I got this negative 8, so I need to add 8 to both sides. And then I got to take care of the 7 by dividing. So plus 8, plus 8. I cross that out because that's 0. When something's 0, I just cross it out. Okay, 22 plus 8 is, oops, the staple's kind of in the way. That's actually a negative 22. Negative 22 plus 8 is negative 14, and then we got 7x. Okay, and then what are we doing? We're dividing by 7, so I divide by 7. So that's negative 2, and that's going to be x. Okay, negative 18 minus 11x equals 26. So my coefficient's a negative 11, okay? So I've got the negative 18, so I need to add 18 to both sides, and then I'll be dividing by negative 11. So plus 18, plus 18. 26 plus 18 is 44, and then I've got negative 11x. Okay, and then divide by negative 11. Divide means I underline. That's how we do it in algebra. Okay, so that's going to be x, or 1x. And over here you got negative 4. Okay, negative 9 equals 1x over negative 3. So my x and then my coefficient's 1 over negative 3. So I add 6, because we got a negative 6, minus 6. And then I got this negative 3 I have to deal with. So I'll be multiplying by negative 3. So I plus 6. Plus 6, and negative 9 plus 6 is going to be negative 3, and then 1x over negative 3, and then I multiply by negative 3. Okay, so this is positive 9, and those cancel. That gives me 1x, or x. Okay. I'm going to come back to this one. Now pause the video and go work on your assignment, but when you're working through these 8 problems, skip number 6, okay? And don't cross it out, you're going to do it, but do the other ones, every problem but number 6. Pause the video and then turn it back on. Okay. Now that you're done with that, let's see how we're going to do number 6. Now the x is part of a fraction. The whole fraction needs to be boxed, okay? The whole fraction. This is kind of weird, okay? The whole fraction, because I've got the plus 6 and I got the 3, okay? Now in a problem like this, when you got the whole fraction as your kind of a mix match, first we're going to multiply by 3. This one's different in that way, okay? And then it's plus 6, and we're going to subtract 6. So first I times by 3. Over here we get 24, and over here those just cancel. And I've got 1x plus 6. Then I'm going to subtract 6. And 1x, which is x, equals 18. Not a hard problem, it's just different, okay? Because that whole fraction is... Okay, x minus 7, and all of that's divided by 2, so since all of it's divided by 2, we box the whole thing, equals negative 11, okay? So first I take care of the 2. So I multiply by 2, and then I'm going to add the 7. So first I times 2, and I times 2. Those cancel, and over here I have 1x minus 7, and that's negative 22. Then we're going to add 7, so plus 7, plus 7. Negative 22 plus 7 is negative 15. Okay, again, 1x plus 18, but not only is this divided by negative 4, so is the 18. Okay, but don't actually divide them. Okay, don't actually do that. So the whole thing is recognized as a coefficient. So we go up to the negative 4 first. I multiply by negative 4 on both sides, and then I will be subtracting 18 from both sides. So times, so negative 32 and 1x plus 18. Now subtract your 18 from both sides. And we have 1x, negative 32 minus 18 is negative 50. Okay, now you should know how to do problem number 6. Pause the video and do problem number 6. Okay, now let's do the story problems. Okay. Chip earns a base salary of $500 as a car salesman. In addition to the salary, he earns $90 per product that he sells. If his goal is to earn $5,000, how many products is Chip going to need to sell? So my unit for my answers is just products. Okay, so products is a unit, but then there's another unit in the problem, and that's dollars. Okay, because all those things have dollar labels. So that's 2 units. So I got products and dollars. Okay, so when you're spending money, whatever you're spending money on is the X. And then the money's the Y. So per. Dollars per product. That's Y, it's always the Y unit on top, the X on bottom. Dollars per product's $90. Okay, so that's going to be a line. X comma Y, MXY. Remember, M is the rate of change. It's $90. And then the products start at 0, but prior to the $90, we got the $500. So 500 goes here. So I've got 500, 90X, and Y. Okay, so 500 plus 90X equals Y. Okay. Now, the last number in the problem is the 5,000. It's $5,000 this time, though, so dollars is Y. So that's where I put that. Okay, it goes in for Y this time, not for X. Because X is products, and that's $5,000, not 5,000 products. So 500 plus 90X. Okay, so first I get rid of the 500 by subtracting 90x, and then that's going to be 4,500, and then we divide by our 90. And x is going to equal 50 products. Okay, next. The fare for a taxi cab is $5 for a trip plus 50 cents per mile. The fare for the trip was $11.50. How many miles were on the trip? So I'm trying to find the number of miles. Okay. So miles is a unit. But there's also money too. Okay. So whatever I'm buying, the product, miles, that's X. That's Y. By the way, if you have dollars, that's always going to be Y. dollars per mile, and the dollars per mile rate of change is 50 cents. So line x comma y, mx, y. Okay, so my m is 50 cents. So we got 50x right there. We started at $5. Okay, so I got a $5, 50 cents x, because 50 cents a mile, and that equals the y, the money that we're going to spend. So 5 plus 0.50x equals y. Now I take the $11.50, and remember, money, that's money units, so that's y. Okay, so I put that in for y. So $11.50 is going there. So I got to get the x by itself. Got the 5 outside, so I subtract 5. 0.50x. 1150 minus 5 is 650. And then I divide both sides by 50 cents, and that is 13. Okay, so the miles driven is 13. Okay. A website allows music groups to post their songs online. The people using the website can buy any of the posted songs. Each musician must pay $5 to use the website. Each musician earns 9 cents per download. If a musician earned $365 for a particular song, how many downloads did the song have? So I'm finding the number of downloads. So downloads is a unit, and there's money to go with it, okay? So to find the number of downloads, I'm going to use the lines, the boxes. Remember, the product is X and the money's Y. So dollars per download. The dollars per download is 9 cents. So X comma Y, MX, Y. Get the M out of there and put 0.09. So 0.09X. Okay, now prior to paying the 9 cents per download, the money we paid is $5. So without any downloads, I still got the $5 I had to pay. And then that takes us to a new amount of money. So I've got 5 plus 0.09X equals Y. And that $365, again, is a Y value. So we put that in for Y. So minus 5, so 360, 0.09x, and then I divide both sides by 0.09. I think that is, I don't know what that is. Gotta get a calculator. So 360 divided by 0.09 is 4,000. 4,000 downloads must be a good song. Okay, then my last problem. You have a coupon for a $5 discount at a local supermarket. This one's a little bit weird. Bottle of olive oil costs $7. If you have $16 in your wallet, how many bottles of olive oil can you buy? So I'm finding bottles. So bottles is a unit, but then there's money to go with it. The product is X, the money is Y. Dollars per bottle. Okay, dollars per bottle, that's asking how much a bottle costs. $7. Now, here's what's weird. We got 7. Remember, $7 is what I'm paying. And you see this $5. Yeah, you're going to put a 5 there, but $7, when you get a discount, that doesn't mean you pay $5, okay, along with the $7. That means you get to take $5 off your price, so that's going to be a -5. So I've got -5, 7x, and y. So I get my $5 off, plus $7 every bottle I buy, equals y. So I got $16. Again, that goes in for y, not for x. -5 plus 7x equals 16, so plus 5, plus 5. 7x equals 21, so I divide by 7, and x is 3. Okay, and then you have the last two problems as your assignment.